So a lot of people are going to get this problem wrong, not because they don't have pretty good basic math skills, but there's one specific part of this problem that confuses a lot of students, a lot of people. Of course, I'll tell you what that is in just 1 second. But let's see if we can figure this out. And the problem here is -3 squared plus 6 times parentheses 4 plus 1 and parentheses. We want to figure out the one specific value that all this is equal to. Okay, so let's go and get into this problem. Now, the first thing we need to be thinking about is the order of operations, okay? And I'll explain this one part where there's a lot of confusion in just 1 second. But we know a lot of you may be confused about the order of operations. This is another area that a lot of students struggle with. Now, in mathematics, things like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and powers, these are mathematical operations, okay? These are mathematical operators, and we need to know what is the correct order to do a problem because depending on what order you take, you're going to generate different values. Now, of course, there's only one correct order, so the correct order to take is defined by the order of operations, which is kind of indicated by this nice acronym. And this little phrase right here is called PEMDAS, right? PEMDAS, and these letters, of course, stand for something. This is a checklist we're going to follow, and we're going to follow it from left to right. Now, let's go ahead and get into the order of operations. So the P here stands for parentheses. So we're going to do parentheses first. Obviously, we have some parentheses in our problem, but this P is also these type of things like brackets and these type of brackets like this. Really, it's technically grouping symbols. Okay, so anytime you see grouping symbols, we're going to go to those first. Now, sometimes you have a problem where you have parentheses inside parentheses or parentheses inside brackets. So the way this works, you're going to go to the innermost parentheses, finish that, and just kind of work your way out from there. Okay, so that's what the P stands for. And now let's move on to E. So E is effectively like powers, okay? So you could think of that as powers. And somebody might be saying, well, if it's powers, why don't they put another P here? Well, it would be kind of confusing. Real quick, when you have a power, there's actually two components that make up the power. This little number in the top right is called the exponent, and this big number down here is called the base. Okay, the entire thing is a power. So this is 2 to the third power. Again, this little number up here is the exponent. So E really stands for exponents, but that's what it means. It means, hey, do powers. Okay, now the next part or the remaining part of the order of operations gets a lot of confusion, okay? And for good reason. I don't think this is stressed often enough or well enough in a lot of textbooks. But let's just quickly define what M, D, A, and S stand for. So M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, S is subtraction. Now, I am saying that this is a checklist that goes from left to right. So most people would say, oh, well, you have to do all of multiplication and then you move on to division like so. But that's not the way it works, okay? So really the way it works is this, you want to think of these as two groups. So the next thing you're going to do is multiplication or division, okay? You're going to do multiplication or division, whatever you see first from left to right. So if I see multiplication then division like this, I'm going to do it from left to right this way. But if I see division before multiplication from left to right, I will do it this way, okay? Same thing for addition and subtraction, excuse me. It's whatever you see first from left to right. Okay, so now that you have a strong understanding of the order of operations, it's pretty clear that we have to start right here with these parentheses, and then we'll just kind of just take one step at a time as we get going and into the solution of this problem. Now, a lot of you might be saying, well, I want to give this problem another try. That's fantastic. If there was something that was confusing you, you should try this problem and not wait for me to show you what to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it right now. So the first thing, I'm thinking about PEMDAS. So it's parentheses, so I have to go where the parentheses are at and go inside of the parentheses and clean up everything there. So 4 plus 1, that's pretty easy. That is 5. Okay, so no problems right here. And the next thing I'm going to show you is where there is a lot of confusion. So in terms of the order of operations, okay, let's just put this PEMDAS back up, right? PEMDAS, we just took care of our parentheses. There's no more parentheses. Now, some of you always say, hey, there's parentheses here. Well, there's nothing to do inside of it, right? We don't have any math problem, any operations to do. So this simply just means 6 times 5 at this point, okay? So next thing on our list is exponents, powers. So do we have any powers? Yes, indeed, right here. So we're going to have to take care of that before we move on to any multiplication or division and addition and subtraction. And this is the part of the problem that tends to give a lot of people confusion. And I'm going to answer exactly how to handle this situation in just 1 second, because I want you to handle the situation of subscribing to my YouTube channel and hitting that notification button. This really does help me out big time. My objective with my YouTube channel is to reach as many people as possible. I want to try to expand my classroom, my math classroom, if you will, to as many people who need assistance in math. Okay, it's been my experience over the years that most people who struggle math do not have to struggle. Okay, what they're lacking is clear and understandable instruction. Okay, in other words, instruction that makes sense. And my objective is to try to teach things that are like non-textbook like, right? Try to give you great explanations. Now, of course, you have to follow through by practicing. But anyways, by you subscribing to my channel, it really does help the YouTube algorithm and push more of my content out. Real quick, if you're new to my channel, I have about 2,000 plus videos from basic math to advanced math, calculus, and everything in between. But if you want my best content, my best instruction, check out my math courses. I'll leave links to those in the description of this video. Okay, so back to the problem. Okay, so right here is where a lot of you are going to get in trouble in this problem. Now, this -3 squared, we have to figure out because this is powers, right? We have to handle this exponent part first. But here is the thing. A lot of people think that this -3 squared is the same thing as taking -3 to the second power, okay? These two things are different, okay? This does not mean do this, okay? This is something different. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to take -3 and multiply by itself, and I'm going to get a +9. Well, that's incorrect. Let's go and take a look why. And if you can understand this, this is going to save you a lot of heartache in the future. Okay, so -3 squared, this is not our situation, but let's just kind of take a look at what this means. -3 enclosed in parentheses squared means take -3 and multiply by itself 2 times, right? So a negative times a negative is a positive, so our answer is going to be +9. Now this right here, what we're actually have to do in this problem is -3 squared. This does not mean this. And it can be easily confused. So if you've been confused or if you are confused, I understand, right? But let's try to clear up that confusion right now. What this means, -3 squared, where there's no parentheses, is that this squared right here, this exponent is acting upon this. So really, I want you to interpret this situation as the opposite of 3 squared, okay, or the negative of 3 squared. So 3 squared is 3 times 3, that's 9. So this is -9, okay? So, you need to be able to distinguish where that negative sign is in a power, okay? Another way you can kind of think of that is this is a negative of 3 squared. And let's see if we can make this even a little bit more clear here in a second. So -3 squared, technically, this is like a -1. So that would be like a -1 times a 3 squared. So when we're thinking about the order of operations, we're going to do powers before multiplication. So that's a +9. So again, this is going to be a -9, all right? So however you want to understand it, but you need to recognize the difference when you're faced with a situation like this. You're not going to interpret it as a taking a power of this entire -3. Very, very common misunderstanding, and hopefully we kind of cleared up that confusion. All right, so the answer here is -9. All right, so now at this point, we're doing our PEMDAS. We're going to have to take care of power, so this -3 squared is -9, not +9. And so we have -9 plus 6 times 5. All right, so 6 times 5. And that's going to be pretty easy to do here. So 6 times 5, of course, is 30. So -9 plus 30 is 30 minus 9. And of course, the correct answer would be 21. Now, if you're struggling with anything here, okay, what you want to do is just make note, okay? Like, okay, I don't understand this, I don't understand that, I don't understand this. Maybe it's powers, maybe it's positive, negative numbers, maybe it's something else, okay? Well, this becomes your kind of like your math shopping list, right? So what you have to do is go to the math store and pick up these skills. You're like, yeah, I need one of these, one of those, and one of these, and that's how you improve in math, okay? If you don't understand something, okay, especially in fundamental basic mathematics, that's going to keep coming up over and over and over again, right? So the best way to improve in math is to identify what you don't understand and then work on that one skill until you do understand it. You don't want to ignore anything. And this is kind of, I can remember, several times. I'm just trying to find a nice little place to write here. Matter of fact, I'll just write it right here. For those of you that are students, let me just show you here real quick what you don't want to do. So let's say you have chapter 1, chapter 2, and so forth, chapter 7, chapter 15 in some sort of math course. So let's suppose, oh, I'm getting great, I'm doing well in chapter 1, got an A there, chapter 2, A here, everything is going great. Then you hit chapter 7, and then you have a tough time. You get like a D in it, and then you get very sad. You're like, oh, I'm not going to do well. The worst thing you could do is be like, well, forget that chapter. I'll just wait till the next chapter. Maybe I'll do better in chapter 8, okay? And then what ends up happening is if you don't fix these problems, this stuff haunts you going forward. Okay, math is built upon itself. So when you have a tough time with a particular topic, what you want to do is immediately start to address it. Okay, and the way to do that is to understand what you do not understand. Okay, be like, oh, I don't understand this. I need to go learn this. Okay, and that is my job, right? Is to try to give you some instruction so you can figure this stuff out. But you're not going to improve, in math, even if you understand something, unless you practice. You got to practice for this to become your own skill. All right. So with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures. Thank you for your time and have a great day.